Batman, on my level, you could be the greatest individual in football.
We are back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about Paul Pogba and his time at Manchester United as a whole. But first of all, as you can see, I'm joined by Ty and Biz. How are you two doing?
We say, man, all good, all good. Not the best of weekends, but we move, man. We move. We're all here. You get me?
Yeah, exactly. We're here 100%, man. Bounce back. We're ready. I've even got the Pogba top. I didn't even realize, actually. I've just put the Pogba top on. So
we got Pogba on the back of that.
Nah. Plain.
Surprised you ain't got Martial, bro.
I know.
Exactly.
Edit, but bad weekend. But me, Biz all come through. I've got a trim. Biz has got a trim. Biz has got the hairline. So we're all set, man.
All right, let's start this straight. Let's start with the Paul Pogba injury. Apparently, according to reports, he's out for 8 to 10 weeks. How do you feel about that?
Biz,
oh, bruv. Do you know what? He ain't been playing well recently, so I'm kind of like not really too bothered. But at the same time, I'm like, do you know what? He's so good. Like, you know, he can just pull something out of nothing. But 8 to 10 weeks, a long time. What's the chance we might not see him for a very long time after, because that takes him into the January period where he's going to be start talking to the clubs. And if he does somehow be able to arrange a contract with a new club, we might not even see Paul Pogba again in the Man United shirt. That's just a possibility, isn't it? But obviously I wouldn't want to see that. But 8 to 10 weeks, it's a long time, man. It's a long time. And obviously we've got the Christmas period coming up. So a lot of congested fixtures. But,
do you know Pogba always, produces something out of nothing. And he's kind of a player that he just comes with a lump of form. To get to the top of the table last year. Like, that was Pogba and Eric Bailly together. Like, he has that ability that when he's on song, he can't be stopped. I feel like there's players out there that can be stopped even when they're on form. But Pogba's got that physicality, he's got the dribbling, he's got the goal scoring ability, he's got the passing. I know that people are like, oh, it's a blessing because he isn't going to play anyway, because he's going to play McFred and then Bruno. It kind of, what it does, right, is it makes it easier for Oli now. Because Oli doesn't have to find a way to fit him in, which you're probably going to talk about. But it's not been about Paul Pogba ever since he signed. It's about fitting him in. And now Oli doesn't have to do that. So that's like a less problem for Oli. However, for us, with this busy schedule, and we're going to have like 3 games every few days, game every few days over that Christmas period from December the 18th up to the New Year, FA Cup, January the 6th. Pogba's definitely needed. Because when you look at it, Bruno's not going to play every game. McFred can't play every game. Matic hasn't got the legs as much. So we're going to have to rotate between them now. Van der Beek's the player that I need to see get minutes now. If he can't get minutes with Pogba out the side, then I worry for him massively. So I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed by the Pogba injury because I'm not having this, he weren't going to play anyway. Pogba is a key player. Whether it's off the bench or whether he's finding form, he always gets us out of trouble, man. And he's the one that has them brilliant moments for me, Biz and Biz.
What do you think about Pogba's injury record as a whole? Because I can't lie, I feel especially over the last 2 to 3 years, he has been kind of frustrating. Like, this is 2 to 3 months now.
He always seems to get a thigh injury every year.
Because this is Paul Pogba's injury record, and obviously this current injury is not included in this. If we're looking at Juventus, he barely ever was injured. By United, since the 1920 season,
ankle and thigh, and then hamstrings. It's ankle a lot. Okay.
You know what? It's either there's definitely a problem at United with the medical staff, because Varane, that seems to be a problem already, and a lot of players that we've signed since Fergie's gone, I say 80% of them have had injury problems where literally they've not given us a full season, where they've just injury free. Probably only Bruno, actually, I would say. But everyone else has just always had a touch and go on their fitness. But apart from the first season, he didn't really have much problems, did he?
Have you got it there? Pull it back up.
Put that list up again.
Do you feel as he's getting older, he's getting a bit more injuries?
Well, look at it, since 2019, January 30th. Like, that's a lot, man.
When did he sign for us? Is it 16, 17?
16, 17.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so look, the first season, nothing.
5 injuries in 2 years. Yeah,
First
Big is
season
right.
was
5
brilliant,
injuries in 2 years, in that up to 18, 19. And it seems to be from 1920 to now, he's had like 8 or 9 injuries. And do you know what it is? It's not even that he's out for a couple, he's not out for like 4 or 5 days. If you look at those injuries from 1920, 25 days, that's basically a month. 79 days, you could say that's nearly heading towards, the 3-month stage. 161 days, that is like close to being nearly half a year. And then 15, 13, 4 days, and then obviously 37 days for that one. And this one could be now 8 weeks. So when you look at 8 weeks times 7, that's 56 days. The length of the injuries is what's worrying me. I don't mind if it's like 3 days, like it was in 1819. It's the length of time these injuries are having an effect on him. And what you can take it off now, if you want. But what you've got to look at is that if you're injured for 5 to 8 days, you might have more injuries in a season. The fact that his injuries are so long means he can only have 2 injuries or 3 injuries a season, because the length of injuries that are keeping him out cover a large chunk. So now we're looking at November to the middle of January. So if that report comes, that diagnosis comes back true, that's a massive lump of the season already. So then when he comes back, he finds his fitness by the end of January, he gets back to fitness in February. If he has another injury, then that's March to April. So that's literally like the season wiped out. So because of the length of injuries, they're even worse. He doesn't have to have as many now, because 1 injury for Pogba is a month, 2 months. And that's what I'm seeing as he gets older, he's struggling to recover from. And you talk about rushing him back, and how Biff says how rushing Varane back. I don't want him now to rush Pogba back, because we've done that before and it went wrong. So it's the length of injuries that are worrying me rather than how many he's having.
Big up Sharma in the comments as well.
Oh, I love that. Big up Sharma.
Big up Buffalo Soldier with a super chat as well. Will he be like Varane, right player, wrong time? What do you think of that?
You know what? I think some people are quite harsh on Varane's time at United, because I don't think it was as bad as people think. Like, he won a league title. I think he was only there for 2 seasons. So yeah, he won a league title, Champions League semi-final, first season, second season, I think quarterfinals. He wasn't as bad as people think he was. But yeah, possibly that might be the right reasons of wrong signing, right signing, wrong time. But it's a difficult one.
Yeah, because the thing is, because he's been at us before and then he's left, but he's come back now as an adult. Like, is this his 4th or 5th season now? Like, is it long
16,
enough?
17.
Exactly. Like, do you think, when people say right player, wrong time, I feel like that's when someone's maybe been here for 2.5 years. Because he's been here for so long, I feel like Biz in that bracket as well. You're thinking that he's been here longer though. So can we say wrong time? Because he's had a long time. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many pros and cons which you're probably going to get to, because he's such a brilliant player. But then, have we built this right squad around him? Have we ever played him in the right position? Oh, this Pogba is like when I tell my kids about him in 10 years, 15 years, yeah, it's a long one to explain. It's hard.
All right, let's start with Pogba's 16-17 season. Like, his first season at United. I can't lie.
Brilliant.
I feel like that season, you could argue, is probably the best out of Paul Pogba we've seen.
Yeah.
Under Jose Mourinho.
I think that's the one season you could say everything around him let him down completely. Like, how many times was he putting chances on the plate for Ibra, Rooney, Rashford, Martial, and these men just weren't really well, Martial didn't really play that first season, but everyone else was just not putting chances, or even Mata as well, Mkhitaryan. He was fantastic that season, but then, I think we had a change of defence as well. Ended up having Jones and Bailly for a long period of time, and then Jones and Rojo. So it was never really a stable team around that season. But yeah, for me, that was his best out and out.
What did we win that year, Biz? Just to remind me.
It was a League Cup and Europa. And obviously
was that the year when Zlatan scored against Southampton?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Cool.
You know what I feel like? You see with the first year, remember, I think it was during the December time we started playing a midfielder, Carrick, Herrera, Pogba.
Yeah, yeah,
That was the best. That's the best Paul Pogba we see.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so unlucky what happened to Michael Carrick because that.
Look who he's got next to him, Baines. Look
Mm.
at the players he just named. Two players that we don't really have at Man United. Carrick, you could say Matic is the closest to him. Matic is past it now, can't play. And you had Herrera, who, let's be honest, you could say, you know, he's got that dogginess about him. They allowed Pogba to do his thing. You've got one runner in there, you've got one who can break up the play, energy box to box, and you've got Michael Carrick there, who is the brains. He can get the ball to Pogba through the lines. He can allow Pogba to go forward because then he doesn't have to worry about going back. Bro, we've never had that in place for Pogba now. Like, you could look back to 3-4 years, other than Matic, and you could say that post-lockdown form, when Matic and Bruno are playing together in Pogba, we stumbled across that and we done well after lockdown, but we saw that it wasn't sustainable. So for me, ever since Michael Carrick's gone and he's not had that person behind him like a Fabinho or whoever it is just to nail it down, and then a box-to-box man with energy like Herrera, if you picked two people that could complement him so well, that is what you're looking for. That is exactly. It's like having a Modric, a younger Modric, and maybe like how you got Casemiro. You put Pogba in there, he doesn't mind it because Casemiro is going to do all that doggy work and breaking it up. Then you got Modric controlling, and you got Pogba just saying, "Do what you do best."
I'd say more Cruz.
Even Cruz, yeah, Cruz. Yeah. You know what? Even Cruz.
You feel like someone like Paul Pogba plays better with like a calming influence like Carrick, someone that's like you see Paul Pogba at times. We know when he gets onto the ball, he holds onto it for too long, innit? Whereas Michael Carrick wouldn't really do that in like the defensive third, for example, and kind of release it quick enough.
What you can link that back to Juve. I'm sure that when he was playing his best football for Juve, and Andrea Pirlo behind him, it coincides.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to say.
So you got the Vidal just breaking up the play.
Vidal breaking up. There you go. I was about to say who's his part. I thought it was Marquisio, but yeah, even
Marquisio as well. Yeah.
Marquisio, Vidal. You've got them type of players there. Break it up. The box to box can score, can create, can be rugged when needed, and then you've got Pirlo dictating. So like Biz just said there, and we're talking about Carrick and Herrera. We've seen the pairs that work for Paul Pogba, and if our three was on a touchline now, we know that that's the pair you need for Pogba. 100 million %. We have not got the midfield to accommodate for him.
This comment here, yeah, Stamman, I saw you in the morning, my bro. Big up you, time. Listen, you know, if you see me, I beg say hi because I can't lie. It's very weird that people just see me and not say anything.
That's jokes. You know, I have to say that walking like this, that.
Yeah, exactly. Someone said, "Nah, Statman, the best Pogba was interim Oli." We'll get on to interim Oli Pogba, yeah, but I think that was the best Pogba in terms of GA, not actual performances in my eyes.
Yeah, performance definitely with Carrick, just keeping things ticking over, and Carrick's so smooth as well. I feel like whenever I thought Mourinho went in for Matic, I understood it, but I just knew it was never the right personnel. Fabinho with Pogba and probably Herrera. Oh my gosh, man! Could you imagine that midfield? I think that'd still be our midfield now. To tell you the truth.
Who's that?
If we'd have signed Fabinho instead of Matic, Fabinho and Herrera, that'd be our midfield now. And obviously we could rotate Bruno inside with as well. Donny. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, don't say that.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
40 million and
that first season, Paul Pogba also was
he won Europa League Player of the Year, I think.
Yeah.
I think he got quite a lot of goals in that competition that year.
Yeah.
Him and Mkhitaryan, I think it was.
He scored in the final, didn't it?
He scored in the final.
Yeah, but it's not even that. His performance was good in the final. I think it was him and Fellaini sort of playing more of that advanced role, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Mkhitaryan.
3 goals that year in the Europa League.
Okay.
Mkhitaryan scored in every round, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, it was Mkhitaryan then. Yeah, that's what
he was our top scorer, I think, didn't it?
Yeah.
17-18 season. I think Carefree loses mod, by the way. 17-18 season, what we signed the Man United that summer.
Yeah. I think it started off fantastic, 4-0 FC. And then when he got injured, that's when things fell apart. And then he came back and we were smashing it again, beat Newcastle 4-1. I think we beat Watford 4-2 away when Lingard scored that goal when he ran through 5 man. And then we played Arsenal, and then that's when he got sent off, and then missed the City game the week later. And then the season was done after that. But that season started off fantastic, but then I feel
Was that when we
like
played? Was that like the West Ham opening day? Then Bournemouth.
yeah.
And I
4-0
think Swansea Martial coming off the bench.
Yeah. That's Martial got.
He got like
Martial.
4 goals off the
Yeah.
the first 3 games.
Yeah, I think Mkhitaryan had 5 assists from 2 games.
When Martial and Rashford were rotating that season at the start, innit?
Yeah.
Especially at the last 20 minutes, last 10 minutes, we were killing sides. Because I think, was that the season? I think, Mkhitaryan got like 5 or 6 assists, bare quick.
Yeah.
But even though his performances weren't good, he was just getting the assists.
Yeah.
100 million%.
I mean, we weren't playing fantastic, but you were right. The last 20 minutes when we made the change, either just bring on either Rashford or Martial, it just gave the team a next lift. We just stretched. We were just stretching teams, man, and then just putting them to the sword. I remember
the red card against Arsenal.
Yeah, that was.
But that was a very good performance.
What happened with that one again?
You got 2 assists that game, Pogba. Assist for
I think that was the day that we beat. 3-1, wasn't it?
Was it at Emirates or Old Trafford?
Emirates.
Say again? It was Emirates when De Gea made like about 20 saves.
I can't even think of the red card, you know.
Was it Paul Pogba and Bellerin, I think it was, isn't it?
Yeah. Remember when he kind of stamped on his ankle?
Yeah.
Remember Lingard doing the fucking Millie Rock, man? Come on. Yeah.
I forgot that Pogba got set because Martial had a little flick to him as well. Them goals were cold that game.
Bro, when Martial went round, was it Kolasinac?
Yeah, it was like a 5:30 kickoff that one. I remember Saturday.
Yeah. Come on, yes, blood. It took Kolasinac to the cleaners, fam. Yeah, man.
I just get sorry, look, if there's any Arsenal fans, sorry, man. I just forget how many times I've beaten you over the years.
Fun Arsenal fans, man. They're getting too cocky right now.
But what do you think of that 17-18 season as a whole then for Pogba?
It's a hard one, right? Because the expectation was kind of there to roll into the next season. So it's like balancing out the expectation from winning the Europa League and winning the League Cup to then going into the season after that, where you're like, right, you're in the Champions League, you're thinking you're going to challenge for the title as well, because obviously Mourinho's got that winning factor. Because I think what it was is after the Europa League, don't you remember the cameras going to Pogba and Mourinho when they're walking around the stadium? I think it was in Sweden, wasn't it, the final?
Yeah.
And like, you know,
kind of thing.
They're like, we're back. But you know, when you look in the camera and you're like, everyone was like, whoa, Mourinho and Pogba like this.
Like that little fear factor kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. And then it kind of like, we started really well. And then it just like petered off. And I think like Biff said, with the 4-0s, how it started, everyone was like, you know, Manchester United are going to challenge for the title. But the bottom line is, that football we knew was not really sustainable, because I don't think the football was great. We just blew away teams, like Biff said, in the last 20 minutes and was always going to get a bit unstuck. And I think with Mourinho, as we've seen now with his time at Tottenham, we've seen now with his time at Roma, I think then when things start, you know, not happening, falling for him, the dominoes start going the other way, it's hard for him to sort of unravel it back. And I think that's just when sort of from there, we saw the dominoes falling. It's a hard one for Pogba, man. I think his first season was brilliant. And I do think post-lockdown, he was really good. But it's, again, I'm not going to compare it to Luke Shaw. Of course, I'm not going to do that. But it's like, when you say Pogba's been here like 4 or 5 years now, how many of them years have been really good? How many months of them have been really good? Like, people say Luke Shaw has had 18 months good in 7 years. That's not good enough. Like, with Pogba, like, there's a much better player in there, but I feel like so many things have not gone his way of why he's not been able to execute himself how we'd all want him to.
Do you know another thing as well with that season that kind of stifled Pogba was the Alexis Sanchez signing? It stifled everyone in that squad.
Because Alexis kept coming inside and getting Pogba's areas. I remember that.
He was ruining Pogba's game completely. And then Pogba, like, I think he missed the Liverpool game when Rashford scored the brace. And then he came back for the Seville game. And actually, no, he didn't even start the Seville game, didn't he? He came on for like 10, 15 minutes. And obviously we got knocked out. And then that's when the bad vibes started kicking off with Jose. And then it led... Do you know what? It could have ended a little bit better if we'd won the FA Cup against Chelsea. And who knows, bro? Mourinho could still be here. But
that the final when Phil Jones put down Hazard, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you see that 17-18 season, do you not think Paul Pogba was good individually and was let down by the team? Because, you know, if you looked at Paul Pogba's numbers when we had Paul Pogba and when we didn't have Paul Pogba that season, there was a mad difference. We obviously played better with Paul Pogba. And you know when you look at his stats from that season,
and Lukaku, I think Lukaku went about 8 games without a goal.
Yeah, you know what Paul Pogba is good at, and these stats
back.
prove what he's good at, kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
He got 10 assists that season in the league.
Yeah.
I felt like Paul Pogba done his thing that year, kind of thing.
Yeah, we finished second. Okay, so we're 19 points off City when we finished second.
Look at this.
We won. What? I know it, man.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Funny. Yeah, you better catch it a bit, yeah? No, I'm joking. Oh, shit. But, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's he done. Oh, it's. Do you know what? Cam's even summed up perfectly there. Like it's 6 years.
I think that was a fake Cams, by the way.
Oh, is it? You just gotta look at it though for the whole 6 years, and I think he's never really been able to excel. I don't think he's ever really been able to excel. Like
wait. We're talking about excelling, yeah. The next season, Paul Pogba produced this 18-19. Obviously, he had a little.
Is this the year before lockdown? Isn't it? Just getting it right, yeah.
This is the year that he played in the further forward areas for a couple months under Oli and stuff, innit?
The interim.
So this is when we finished 6th and Oli took over, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think this is the season where Paul Pogba went into the team of the season or something. He was the only non-United and non-City player to get in.
Yeah. I liked him under. I think this is when Oli came in. I think I remember there was one game and I was like, was it Bournemouth? I think it was Ollie's second game in charge, and we beat Bournemouth 4-1 at home.
Yeah.
And I think, do you remember Pogba scored 2 that game? Do you remember?
Yeah. I think the header in it, and
like this is the year Jose got sacked. Yeah.
It's the year
under Ollie was there for a bit as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interim.
Ollie come in. Well, Ollie not in a bit. Ollie came in December, so he was there for a lot of the season. And I remember we played Cardiff, and then we played Bournemouth at home, and Pogba was playing more advanced. He got 2 goals and assists that game, and I was like, this is where Pogba needs to be. He was so further forward, yeah. He was getting in and around the box. And I actually remember Ollie saying, if you want Paul Pogba playing to his best of his ability, get him in and around the box in the final third, creating, because he's going to cause problems. Why has that never been the case since Bruno Fernandes started coming to since Bruno Fernandes come to his football club? It seemed like Ollie had finally unlocked what the key was to Paul Pogba. Get a good midfielder in, and then we can allow Pogba to do his thing. And unfortunately, this is it. We signed Bruno Fernandes, and he's never played him in the number 10 role again. And what it's become is now accommodating Paul Pogba. And
but you see
World Cup attitude, you can't accommodate Paul Pogba. You make Paul Pogba.
But you see what it was. I feel like obviously we're gonna season ahead now, isn't it? Obviously after that 18-19 season, 19-20, Pogba already played like 6 or 7 games and got injured after Scunthorpe. And then that's when he was out for 163 days.
Yeah, so I think it was Rochdale or something.
Rochdale, that's it. Not Rochdale. Yeah. And they went to penalty. Did they go to penalties?
Yeah. When I think that 16 or 17-year-old kid scored against us.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. Bloody hell, man. Fuck me. We've had some stinkers, man. But I think obviously that's when Pogba was out for like 163 days. Well, he came back for 1 game against Watford and then was out again. And then I feel like he was out the door. That's why Bruno was signed. So once Bruno was signed, it was like Bruno just got off on the front foot straight away. And then obviously Pogba came back was it after COVID? And then obviously he was happy. Things were going well again. And then that's how I think why Pogba's never actually got the chance to play in the 10 role again.
But like, I was gonna ask you, man, straight. I said it to Hadj yesterday, yeah, because big up Hadj, by the way. He was cooking stuff up on Trafford Tunnel yesterday. He was on one. but I'm gonna ask you to say, Babes, watch the show. Direct question here, because people in the comments are probably gonna say Bruno or whatever they're gonna say. But if I can say to you right now, pick a Manchester United team, the whole 11 is picked, and you've got 1 spot left, and it's the number 10 role, and you've got Bruno and Pogba left to pick. Who are you 2 picking, and why?
I think it depends on the players around him, innit?
Yeah.
Because say if my front 3 consists of what? a Ronaldo, Rashford, and a Sancho, then I'm probably going to go with a Paul Pogba, innit? Because then I want another player that's a bit less greedy, for example, innit? And Paul Pogba's not really greedy like that. I criticize Paul Pogba all the time. I think he needs to shoot more at times, innit? I feel like that sort of player would work with someone like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Since he's come to United, he's forgotten how to shoot. Because some of the goals
funny thing is that he does it for France though at times.
Bruv, do you remember
look
the
at the goal
goals
that
he was
scored for
scoring
France in the Euros?
Do you ever remember his first goal for Juventus? The volley, last minute against Lazio.
Yeah.
Bro, I've not seen him do one of them for United. I've only seen him do it, and I think it's just gone over the bar. I think it might have been against PSG actually in the first leg. In Ole's interim, and he had a mad, it was just a serious volley, and I was like, rah, that's Pogba Juve days. He's never ever given us that. It's like always these tame, controlled, curled into the bottom beam corner. Bruv, no, I want these nasty ones that are just blowing off the back of the net. And he just, I don't know, man. He's just forgotten how to shoot, bruv, man. It's just annoying.
Oh, for me, everyone's saying Pogba as well. And there was one comment that stood out to me, and it was control. That was the word. I didn't think anyone was going to say it. Big up whoever it was. I can't remember. Said you get more creativity and whatever, but you get control. Bruno gives us no control. He's very erratic with the ball. It's either he gets it and he does a great through ball and he's in on goal, or he loses the ball in a second. And then I feel like with Pogba, yes, he might hold on to the ball longer, but he can hold on to the ball longer up there. He can create more up there. I feel like his brain's better. I just think anything for me, I actually prefer Paul Pogba in a 10.
But you think Paul Pogba is a 10 though? Because I still think left of a midfield three is his best position. Yeah, I don't necessarily think.
I don't think he's a
10.
I agree with you in that sense, but if we're talking about Manchester United right now, I'm basing it off what we're playing. I'm not saying that, okay, hypothetically, a new manager is going to come in and play a 4-3-3. If they do that, then cool. But what do Manchester United play? They either play a 5-2-3 right now, or 3-5-2, however you want to put it, or we play a 4-2-3-1. So I'm just giving you the hardcore facts of if it's a 4-2-3-1, who are you picking and why? We can always do variables, but it depends on this. I think he's a left, but I'm actually just saying to you, 4-2-3-1, number 10. I pick Pogba over Bruno for me, and then that's why I asked you. So yeah, Baines.
As I said, I think it just depends on the people around, isn't it? I think Paul Pogba is the best.
No, I don't want to hear that. If I said to you, right, babe, you're in the Old Trafford room right now, we've got a final, right, pick, we've got 4-2-3-1.
In a final, I'm picking Paul Pogba because I know Paul Pogba has a better chance of performing in big games.
You said it. There you go.
Yeah, fine.
I don't know, man.
I sussed him. He doesn't like me putting him under pressure. When I say A or B, there's no C.
Listen, it's my channel. I don't create a C.
When it's A or B, there's no C. So Pogba, I knew it. I knew he was going to say Pogba. I knew when I said it to him. It has to be, even though people say he's not a 10. It's mad.
I think I'm going to go Bruno, bruv.
Okay, why? Yeah, so you could challenge, obviously, me in a good, what? Yeah, so why would you
Consistency, and I don't have to accommodate him, bruv, anywhere. I know what I'm going to get. I could play him right wing. I know what I'm going to get.
But is that in terms of numbers or in terms of performance? Because there's a lot of times where, for example,
that great
Bruno Fernandes won't play well, but you get the numbers.
Yeah, but that's what I want.
No, but
that's what I want. I want the numbers, blood.
No, but at times, fine. This is a hypothetical situation here. Bruno, let's be honest, is not the best in terms of keeping the ball at times, isn't it? Say if he tries 5 passes and only one comes off it, and that's 1 goal assist, say, yeah. But say the other 4 times it leads to a turnover and play, and say, for example, City have a very, very good chance against us, or they score. Then in a way, even though he got his goal contribution, he's still detrimental to the side.
So see, that's why I asked you, man. I knew it'd be a good one. I knew the comments would get vexed as well.
No,
don't be persuaded. If you want Bruno in your 10, you're picking Bruno with chest. I am Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, it's Bruno for me, bro, man. Like, the numbers don't lie, bro. From the minute this guy's walked into the club, I ain't gonna lie, those are the numbers I expected from Pogba for me when he walked in the club. And you can't even tell me that he's
the Bruno numbers?
Yeah, you can't even tell me Pogba's
but not. But how do you expect a holding midfielder to get those numbers kind of thing? Because a lot of his football at United has been in the double pivot.
Yeah. Well,
then you can't really judge.
Well, the first you could say the first season when he was with Carrick and Herrera.
Yeah, that's a different story. I can kind of hear that when Paul Pogba was playing further forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the second season because we played Mata in the 10, and Mkhitaryan on the right, Marshall or Rashford on the left, and Lukaku through the middle. I'm guessing then obviously he was accommodating for Mata because obviously Mata was just wasted at United. Again, he's another one who was playing out of position for years out on the right, and the only time he really played was in that 10 under Pogba and Matic and Jose's second season. So. Yeah, obviously, majority of the times he has played in the 6, so it has been a lot deeper. But Yaya Toure did it, man. I shouldn't really put him up against Yaya like that, but you know, like he has got the ability to do it, man. It's just, it's I don't know, man. He's a letdown in that 6 area.
Yaya, you know what the problem? The difference is Yaya had the. I know we're going to laugh, but I think he had a Gareth Barry next to him, had a Nigel de Jong. Who else was the other defensive midfielder next to him who I'm missing out? Nigel de Jong, Gareth Barry. Oh, we're missing the name.
Delph,
but I feel like he's played with Garcia, but I feel like he had a steadier ship.
Fernandinho as well.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, cool. You've got Fernandinho next to you, and when you do that, if you put a peak Fernandinho next to Pogba at Manchester United, oh my God. That is literally the Fabinho you're looking for. Do you get what I mean? And Yaya did not play number 10 for City. I'm sure it was David Silva. Of course it would have been.
Yeah.
So
okay, I've got another question. Do you think Paul Pogba's best performances in a United shirt have been off the left? Because I can't lie, you see last year Paul Pogba or 2021 Paul Pogba when he's playing on the left. I feel like that's the best Paul Pogba we've seen.
That was serious.
He watched my show yesterday and he's smart. You're smart.
I feel like that's the best Paul Pogba we've seen at United.
That has been
actually other than the first. Actually, you know what? It's tough, between the first season, 16-17 season, and the left wing Pogba.
That man has shot me in the foot here.
But I like Wingbar. I like him playing out wide.
And as soon as I saw that comment yesterday, I thought, oh no. Because there's nothing really I could go back on you and say, oh, nah, he's been better here, he's been better there. It's about where I want him to play. But this year...
but where do you think he's been better in the United shirt?
It's hard. Because you know what? Yeah, there has been times when he's played absolutely brilliant in the 6. And it's like, why are we not getting this every week from you? You know what I mean?
But do you feel like that's more when we, for example, have a lot of the ball and monopolize possession? Then you see like the less defensive side of Paul Pogba kind of thing because we have the ball as a side. Because, for example, I feel like it was the Newcastle game. We had a lot of the ball in it.
Which Newcastle games is?
This season, 4-1.
This season, okay, yeah.
And I felt like Paul Pogba played decently well from memory.
I was there actually, to be fair. He had a lot of the ball. He was actually our best creative player in that midfield. He played next to Matic. He played central that game. On the left. He just didn't have he looked frustrated because he wasn't getting the runners in behind and like no one was moving. It was very static. But he was doing very well that game actually, picking up the ball right. And do you know what it was though? Because we suffocated them we didn't play well, but because we suffocated them so much forward and only had sent maximum because Callum Wilson was injured. Every time Pogba got the ball, he was already halfway in their half. So he basically wasn't playing like a holding midfielder. He was able to then play where he would have played probably within the 10 role, which is in between that penalty box and the halfway line. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the system and how the team use the ball, for example, innit? Because I think someone compared it to like Gundogan in the comments, but City have a lot of the ball and Gundogan had the license to push into the penalty area.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think when Paul Pogba was playing in those central areas, he has the license to.
Do you know what? You man might remember, right? You know the game when we played, because that's funny now they say about Gundogan, because the time I see Pogba playing like Gundogan with the sort of late runs in the box was the goal. Do you remember the goal against City in the derby when we come back from 2 down?
Yeah.
You guys are probably, I know Biz's memory's mad. Where was Pogba playing in the second half of that game?
6 next to Matic. Oh no!
No, I don't think he was.
No, because I think Herrera played that game, innit?
Yeah, Herrera played.
Herrera was about the badge, innit?
Yeah,
I think he played number 10.
Yeah, he was 10.
And he was able to get in the box and get his, because we've got to remember he's an aerial threat. But I remember it was Herrera, Matic, and Pogba played in the 10. Them type of goals he scored there, He was not doing that if he's playing in the sixth. Was it the one little flick on with the chest in the thing with Herrera on that?
Yeah.
Alexis and stuff.
Sanchez.
He's let him play in advance. He's not doing that from back at the halfway line.
No, but that's why I asked. Do you think he's been better from the left? Because I can't lie, you see that Paul Pogba performance on the left against Tottenham last year away. That Paul Pogba performance was unbelievable. United in that second half were incredible in my eyes.
Yeah,
When he's playing on the left, where it was kind of, we basically played with the two number 10s that day. When him and Bruno were kind of wide number 10s in a way.
Yeah.
That Pogba performance was unbelievable.
I think in a 10, man. Do you know what? Now I'm glad because now I'm sitting and talking about it. I'm actually kind of excited by like, I wish we could see him in the number 10 again. And I think it would actually wake up Bruno because I feel Bruno is very comfortable, by the way. Yeah. He knows he could not turn up to training for a week and he's getting picked on the weekend. Imagine coming back here, obviously Pogba, if he wasn't injured, and Ollie was like, you know what? 7-0 in aggregate at home to Liverpool City is unacceptable. I'm making changes. And he throwed Martial left, Pogba 10, Sancho right, and Ronaldo up front. How excited would you man be?
No, I wouldn't. Because it's still Ollie.
Oh, killed my five.
I had to do that. This is a good question. Interim Ollie Pogba or Wingbar?
That's for you.
Wingbar.
I'm going to have to say Wingbar, you know. Wingbar
you see interim Ollie Pogba, yeah. I feel like at times his performances weren't there, yeah. But you know, because he was taking penalties as well at that time. He'll get the goal. Whereas Wingbar, I feel like his performances were brilliant.
Wingbar was actually a bully, you know. He was actually a bully, bruv. Like, just a tank, just running through defenses. It was scary.
Like, remember the Roma game, for example. Remember
even the Aston Villa game.
When it was him versus Jack Grealish, and guess who won? Paul Pogba.
Yeah. He was on Grealish stuff, really, innit?
Yeah, I get it. You man like him in the wing. I'm gonna go into him just because I feel like that's where Pogba also wants to be. I see.
But in terms of where do you think his performances were better? Because if we're talking strictly performances, I think Wingbar over interim. But interim, he got the goal contributions.
He had a few good games as Wingbar. There's been games where he's played there and we're like, the balance is there's something missing when he's playing on the left. Like I think it was the Villa game even this year. We put him on the left. He was non-existent, tracking back Matty Cash. And I know there's been good performances. But however, I think if you play him central, you just know what you're going to get. If you play him advanced. I'm going to advance Pogba into him. I like it. When you have Matic and Herrera, then you're saying, Pogba, do your thing. I like it, man. When he's able to get the ball and travel and break lines. That's the point. Like where Biz did say the Ayatore, I get the comparison. Not in the 6, but I get the attributes of you can beat a man over that 10 to 12 yards. Gallop with the ball. Space opens up. Like I like Pogba central, man, and I'm gutted, man. The more
you see when he played in the 10 though, interim times, when we got up against a big team though, we were still kind of doing what we're doing now, which is kind of just hitting on the break.
There was a big game at home. I think I remember him struggling in it. I can't remember what it was.
PSG, bruv.
No, but I think that game Marquinhos marked him out of the game.
That game when we lost 2-0, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool 0-0, but you see the away game at Chelsea 2-0.
The FA Cup one?
Yeah, the FA Cup one. When he backed the header.
Pogba.
And I think he got an assist for Herrera's header as well.
Did he?
Oh, no, it might have been Rashford assist, actually. Sorry. Yeah,
I feel like it was Rashford.
Yeah,
actually, it might have been Rashford to Pogba and then Pogba back to Rashford.
Yeah. No, Herrera scored. Herrera scored a header.
Yeah, Herrera scored that game as well, yeah. Was that number 10 that day?
Yeah, that was 10.
Yeah. Do you know what? Could you...
You see this here? Statman, does Wingbar work because Bruno's position is so high? Shouldn't he just play 10 and drop Bruno? I feel like it works here because say Bruno, for example, you know how our average position is kind of like a 4-2-4 at times, isn't it? Like Bruno basically is the second striker. You see how Paul Pogba then drifts inside? It makes sense, isn't it? Because then you still got someone occupying the little pockets of space. But then obviously you're relying on Luke Shaw or Tellez, whoever's playing that side then to provide a win. Which I feel like we lack at times.
Yeah, because someone said in the comment, which is quite good, I said, if you play him on the wing, then because he comes inside, it's kind of the closest thing to playing him left centre midfield, which I kind of get because he doesn't play like a winger. He plays sort of on the left side and comes into the channel. That's the closest thing positional-wise you're going to see to a left centre mid where you, man, want to see him.
Make sure you guys like the video as well. So, okay. Paul Pogba now. Do we sell or keep? Or actually, it's not even sell, innit? Do we? We have no choice. Well, like, would you want Paul Pogba to stay?
Do you know what? Oh, Biz, you're not. Go on, Biz. Go on.
Do you know what? Yeah,
I know my
obviously,
answer straight away.
Obviously, like, as all fans in it, we are reactionary, and sometimes we say things that we don't really mean. But like last couple of weeks, I'm just like, do you know, if you don't want to be here, just go. But you know, like we've just been talking about wing bar. I'm just like, do you know what, man? One more run at it, blood. Like, he can't leave Man United without not getting a league title medal or a Champions League medal. He can't, man. He can't, bruv. You can't have Pogba back and all the Stormzy videos and nah, bruv. I wouldn't feel right in myself, blood, seeing him just go, just like that for free as well. I want to see him get one more run at it, man. But the way things are, a complete mess at the moment where we don't even know who's going to be the boss. He's probably thinking to himself, what's the point now, man?
Do you know, like, Yemi's like, big up Yemi as well. 2 players to replace Pogba. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've always said it. Pogba's like top 3 centre midfielders in the world. And what I'm trying to work out here is, what does he get from stay? Would I want him to stay? I'd love him to stay, but then I've got to be realistic, because when you look at Paul Pogba right now, this is the 5th season. We haven't ever thought they've got the right formation to play with him, or the people in that midfield to play with him. He's getting wasted and he's not playing in number 10. He's getting put out on the left wing. Now, this is Paul Pogba, by the way, a 28-year-old World Cup winner who we're accommodating. It's not about he's the star man. At the end of the day, we know the first name on the team sheet, if I said to you, man, who's playing every week, is Bruno Fernandes. So already that gives us a conundrum, because it's like, where's Paul Pogba going to play? So for me, I think for Paul Pogba's career, it's best for him to move on. The gutting thing for us is we could actually lose him for free. Like Biz said, he can talk to other clubs in 6 weeks. 6 weeks, he could talk to other clubs. And if he wanted to stay, he would have signed another contract already. Come on, let's be honest. We're all humans here. If he wanted to stay, he would sign another contract. I think he's weighed up his options. He was struggling in the Champions League. The football's not improved. Look where we are in the league. I'm not going to win nothing here. I've got a Real Madrid team right now, in hypothetically, that have Camavinga, Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, and Valverde. Now, look at the midfield we discussed earlier when Manchester United was shining with Paul Pogba, when Juventus was shining with Paul Pogba. They've got all them players ready, locked in. Paul Pogba, come through the door, take your pick of who you want to play with this weekend. He's off to Real Madrid, I think. And good on him, because I think he deserves to play at the highest level. And if there's a player at Manchester United I feel like deserves it, whether people think his performances are being good or not, natural ability, Paul Pogba is brilliant. I think he goes. Would I like to see him stay? I'd love to see him stay, because why would I want to replace him? But if we're not going to use him as the first man on the team sheet and make the team right for him, then why should he stay? Why should he be here? He don't want to play left wing. As much as you don't like, he don't want to play left wing. He wants to play in a midfield 3, play in advance, enjoying his football, creating, scoring goals, bossing the midfield. We're not going to do that for him. 28 years old, you man. He's not 22 no more. He's a big man. Big man.
I think with Paul Pogba, I'll be honest. I might like Paul Pogba, yeah, but I've said it time and time again. I don't think you get the best out of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in the same side century. I just don't think you can. I think even if a new manager comes in, I just think that's an impossible task in my eyes, isn't it? Which is why I'm like, we're better off getting rid of Paul Pogba. In my eyes. Like, this is going to sound crazy, because I know what Paul Pogba can do in those central areas. I've seen this guy was in midfield against Toni Kroos. I'm not saying Toni Kroos is bad that game, because he's actually very, very good, but I'm just saying Paul Pogba had a better game. In those central areas, you kind of just have to let Paul Pogba ball. And we haven't been able to provide that.
Exactly, yeah.
So why keep him? Like, I genuinely think we're better. Like, obviously, he's not selling. He's going to leave. Then it's kind of on, can we find the correct replacements? Can we find the right balance in midfield? I still think the answer is no, because I know how bad the recruitment is. But sometimes you kind of have to be like, Paul Pogba, phenomenal player, but it's best just for both parties to part ways.
It's actually mad, by the way. Paul Pogba on a fucking free, you know. Free! Like, Real Madrid are laughing, brother.
Like someone said, Bruno can literally be Herrera with more quality, but I don't think Bruno has the positional discipline to do what Andy Herrera did.
4 years, and like Hala Madrid said, sometimes the player just doesn't fit the team.
Wait, someone said, why would you choose the worst player? It baffles me that everyone always says Paul Pogba and Bruno is untouchable. It's because Bruno is still under contract. Paul Pogba's contract finishes at the end of the season. That's why we're having this discussion.
Yeah. If you said to me now, pick one to play number 10 and Bruno's got to go, Bruno can go. Good
see, that's a different discussion, isn't it? But we kind of have to look at Paul Pogba's situation now because he can literally talk with other clubs in 2 months outside of Europe or outside the Premier League, sorry.
Like when you look at it, yeah, like Paul Pogba's career, so this will be his 4th year ending for 16, 17, 5. You say 4 or 5 years. He's been here now.
Look, fan police is here though. Fam, I hate people like this.
Fan police, you know.
It's true.
Yeah, I know. Check Trafford Tunnel video. You can see I went to Ronaldo's debut. Thank you. But anyway, in regards to Pogba, like when you look at his 5 years, from what he's come back to and the project they probably told him he was going to build, like, do you think we failed him or he failed us?
Both.
I say more we failed him. But at the same time, I do feel like there's been times when Pogba stunk real bad. And for length of time as well.
Is there any particular patch that you're like, you know what, that season?
What do you mean?
A patch.
Oh, like patch of like when you were like, nah, he's not cutting it.
I'd say the first half of last season.
I felt like that was COVID, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he struggled. Yeah. That's good. Someone said 70% MEFC, 30% PP. People said 80% we failed him, 20% he failed us.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to say it. Both parties still have to take blame. We sold Paul Pogba a project and we didn't deliver on that project. Same way I don't know if Paul Pogba sold his dreams, but we expected a bit better from Paul Pogba at times as well. There's at times you're looking at Paul Pogba and you're like, what are you doing on the pitch? Like, I always say, for example, is there a part to Pogba's game you don't see talked about? Like, I don't think this is necessarily talked about, but I'm like, you're just holding on to the ball for too long. And I think I said this last week. Come on, man, just move it on quicker. Like, you're just dilly-dallying on the ball and no one's telling him anything. And I've seen the same errors for the last 5 years.
Exactly. Do you remember the first couple of games when he first come and he was just doing it? And I was just thinking, right, you're just showing off because you've got strength and that. And I thought, you'll snap out of that. I thought he's going to snap out of that sooner or later. Then he just keeps doing it, brother.
Do you think
even last week
he's better suited to that slower league?
I do, you know. I really think Serie A, international football, you see the tempo is so different, gets a lot of time on the ball. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Obviously, I like Fred anyway. As much as people get on Fred, I'm not going to make this about Fred now, but just short. When you look at Fred for Brazil, the time he gets on the ball compared to the time he gets on the ball in the Prem is so different. Fred actually is very comfortable for Brazil with Casemiro next to him, I think. Very comfortable, even though, forget the Copa final. When you watch Brazil consistently, there's a reason he starts. Him, Casemiro, and Lucas Paqueta, I think it was in midfield. Pogba's the same. When you have him for France, the amount of time you get in international football, Serie A and La Liga is different. And players like that then blossom because Pogba's best attributes are hidden on the ball. He's creative. He can find passes other people don't. Look at some of the passes he spins for Mbappe for France because you get a lot of time on the ball. The quote come out today, Athletic, Jadon Sancho came back in after one of the games he played for United and said, whoa, what the hell was that? And apparently in the quote, someone said to him, get used to it in regards to the pace of the league. Because when you play in Germany, that's the closest league I'd say to the Premier League in terms of physicality and the way it's played. But it's still different. The Premier League is fast. You've got to be ready to go. And it's the same thing with De Bruyne right now. De Bruyne is
Havertz had that problem as well, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. De Bruyne is a brilliant player, by the way. But even since he's come back from injury, I think he's lost half a yard of that physicality, that ability, them bursts. And I think when players...
I think that's more down to, in the Euros, apparently you had to take an injection to play in it.
Yeah,
and that injections had side effects and stuff.
I'm going to say it now, Baines. I think he's slowly on a little dip anyway.
That's no. He's on the decline.
30.
Yeah, and he's definitely on the decline.
Players like him and Pogba, they need a bit of that physicality. They need to be that sort of extra mobile. And I just, I don't think I don't think it's ready for us. I think if he goes back to Italy, we see the best out of Paul Pogba again because he gets a lot of more time on the ball. International, we see that as well. De Bruyne could come to Man United, like Yemi said, and he would struggle at United probably as well. It's true.
Yemi also said no one shows for the ball that many. Yeah, I do agree with that. But at the times, like, it's literally just stupidity. Like, you know the block that everybody made the other day? Get the ball clear if there's no one, if there's no options. Like, you know, Atalanta that was against Atalanta, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Atalanta want to press you. Surely you're watching Atalanta play week in, not even week in, week out, but you've seen the footages leading up to the game, innit?
But the maddest thing, it wasn't just...
innit?
The thing is,
get the ball clear.
You think about Ollie's watching opposition.
Yeah, I said that, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
No, do you know what? Yeah, the thing is, the maddest thing with that situation that happened, it wasn't just one player. It wasn't just one player that was closing him down. It was three. It was three players that closed Pogba down, and he still was trying to dilly-dally on the ball and try to show.
You think at times he's a press trigger for size?
Yeah, I think some teams have worked that one out.
Yeah, they pinch it a few times from him. I think okay, the pass might have been quite poor from Fred, but don't remember Henderson dispossessed him in the Liverpool United game, spun it through for Salah, they didn't go.
Because at times I do think Paul Pogba can get targeted in those areas. And even people were saying it, he's allergic to clearing the ball. It is kind of true.
You know what it is? Even the comment below it is perfect. It's one of them ones. It's always an if with Pogba. It is like literally if this, like there's so many nearly things, but
like you see what the mad thing is. I think I titled it like, how would Paul Pogba be remembered at Manchester United? Didn't it? And someone replied, World Cup winner. I think that just says it all. He's not going to be remembered for his time at United. He's just going to be remembered for the World Cup that he won while playing for United, if that makes sense, isn't it? Like during that summer.
Do you know what? It's mad because even though he won the Europa League and League Cup, like even being remembered for that, I'm sorry, for some of the magnitude of Paul Pogba, I feel like it's a disrespect.
Okay, I've got a question for you. Out of 10, how would you rate Paul Pogba's time at United?
6.5.
Why?
That's pretty fucking solid. I can't really disagree with that, you know.
I was
thinking to say 7, but then I actually think 7 would be at least winning one more trophy on top of what he has.
Yeah.
We've
been to 2-3 cup finals and he's lost, innit? So Europa League, the final last year, and then FA Cup final.
So, you know what I mean? We've lost it, and we got Europa League last year. Did he play in that final? Yeah, he did. Of course he did. When Tomine, Bruno, and Fred. Tomine, Bruno, and Pogba. I want to say 7, but then I feel like has he even won enough? Like people be like, where am I getting 7 from? Whereas when you say 6.5, it's like he's had moments where he's played really well, and he's got United out of some holes in some big games, but it's about consistency, and I feel like we've never been able to find that consistency.
This is interesting for considering what he could have / what he achieved. Because I can't lie, I'm on the same thing as you. He's either a 6 or a 7, isn't it? Because I felt like Paul Pogba individually for his time at United, especially the first couple seasons, has done his thing in it.
He has like what?
And then like the first couple seasons, I'm like, it's not you letting the team down; it's the team letting you down.
Like, that's why I've got a good. I like based off his time here with the teams he's played in. This is a good way. In the teams he's played in, you man. Do you think Pogba should have got more out of himself, or do you feel like the team let him down over the time? When you average it out, if you balance it over 5 years, when you say it was 3 years, the team let him down more, or do you think it was more 3 years like Pogba should have done more himself? I think it's more the team let him down rather than Pogba. Yeah,
I'd say up until last season, definitely the team.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing with Fellaini next to you or Schneiderlin, do you know what I mean? Then ahead of you, bruv, you got Andreas Pereira.
This is true. Other than you could have probably argued this season.
Yeah. a fair point.
Because I can't lie, you know when you actually deep it, Paul Pogba's learned a new position playing in the double pivot. He's never played in the double pivot before coming to United, has he?
No.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
Like,
You know what? It has to be between. It's a six, and some will say 7. I think if you put a poll out to 100 people, I reckon the majority say 6. Especially neutral fans, by the way, who don't watch United week in, week out. Some of them might even say 5, but we'll ignore that. Yeah. But I think if you actually put a survey out, I think 6.5, like Biz said, is an accurate assessment. But, okay, my question for you, man, yeah, and I'm going to throw it out there. It's mad. But if we won the FA Cup or the Champions League, I want 2 answers. If we win the Champions League with Paul Pogba, and I'm putting it out there, yeah, people laugh at me, I don't care. If we win the Champions League with Paul Pogba this year before he goes, what do you man rate it? What would you man say then?
That boosts up straight to an 8, blood.
Okay, 8. And if we won
even if he's just like a couple of like performances, like a Mason Mount en route to the final, yeah, couple games here, was it the round of 16? Maybe performed in the semi-final.
Okay, say if he does a Havertz then. Like, doesn't really play well, but in the final
scores a goal in the final.
Yeah, that's going up to 8. That's going up to 8.
And what about
8 instantly?
Rick, hey, listen, Rick, I love doing this because I have to get the shows popping. What if we win the FA Cup then? That's for you. And then, Baines, I'll go to you then. So if we win the FA Cup, what would you say? 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
But I don't really... Like, Paul Pogba shouldn't be judged on FA Cups kind of thing, innit?
Yeah,
we brought in Paul Pogba to win the Premier League and Champions League, which is why, like...
I agree with you, man.
I don't know if it really changes my opinions.
If he wins the Champions League, it's an 8. If he wins the FA Cup, right? So this is for me and Baines then. So we're basically gone against ourselves. If he wins the FA Cup and we just said that's a 7, then we can't rate him a 7 now then. We have to say a 6 or 6.5 because he hasn't even got an extra trophy.
No, but I think, do you really feel like one FA Cup really changes a lot on his time at United? Like, I'll be honest, I don't think it really does.
You know what? I agree with you that it doesn't really. However, because we haven't won something for so long and the pressure on us and everyone's saying Oli ain't going to win nothing, I do think that makes it go up to a 7. I think it'll be a 6.5 to a 7. Yes, it might be half a mark, but it's still a trophy. Hey, and listen, if we get to the Champions League final, yeah, you know on the stream. Remember how that man got that clip up of me saying about Ronaldo we didn't need him? I'll be running it back saying,
listen, if we win the Champions League, yeah, I'll be honest, play all the clips because I don't care. I don't care. I will play the clips. I'll find them. I will find them for you.
I'll be there to pop a
Okay, now last thing I wanted to talk about, yeah. Jadon Sancho, right wing back reports. What do you think of that?
Oh, if that's true, we're finished, man. We are done.
Why?
We are done.
Do you not think he can play as a right wing back?
Oh, God, he was not signed to be that, was he? But
I reckon he could play there, you know.
I reckon he could do a job.
I reckon he could do a job. But I'll be honest with you.
How much of disrespect?
That is a disrespect, brother. Man come from London, yeah. Right, listen, man lived in Camberwell in London, yeah. Went to Manchester City, learned the trade of tick-a-tacker football. Brilliant player, obviously, in the youth side. Went to Dortmund, been 20 goals and assists for 3 years. We wanted him for 2 years, right? Chased him for 2 years. And then Ollie's going to say, sorry, you're playing 3-5-2. You're going to do a Callum Hudson-Odoi. You're going to right wing back. Nah. I'm sorry. We could not have Sancho. And then Sancho is going to be playing what? He said in big games, it said, we'll play a 3-4-1-2. So what, then he's going to be tracking back next man. Like, I'm just trying to think who we could play. We could play Liverpool. So what, we're going to put Mane up against Sancho?
No, but I feel like that was more for like the easier side, I think the report said, didn't it?
Why would you play back 3 against easier sides? That's a fucking disrespect as well.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I always say it depends on how you play the formation, innit?
It's clickbait, man. That is clickbait. So much news.
Because I think, what was it? Laurie Whithill reported it from Athletic.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, it was Laurie. Yeah, it was. Brother, if I'm Sancho, I'm saying just sell me. Like, I can't. Right wing back. That's a nah, man. I'm not having man tracking back at the corner flag and everyone's clapping because he blocked the game for a corner or something.
Bro, City fans were singing "Reject," bro. City reject.
I can't lie though.
Victor Moses style.
I think he could cook there. No lie, I think he could do it right. Because I feel
I
like
don't disagree with you. That's just because what he can do going forward. You're just thinking of what you're comparing to what he'll offer, rather than Wan-Bissaka going forward.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, but I can't lie. I feel like my reasoning is, if we're a high possession side, I think he could do all right in the right wing back role, innit? When you're still kind of operating in the same areas,
in
maybe
their
a bit
half.
deeper.
He could do
Yeah.
Hakimi.
Yeah, but I feel like United are not going to be that side in it, which is why if we are going to stick with a 3-5-2 or 5-3, whatever you want to call it, he has to be playing in the front two areas, kind of thing.
And he's never gonna, by the way, getting that ever.
Why are we doing this to players, man? We're just killing them.
We are. But this is
killing
Manchester United
players.
Football Club for you. Lastly, I think this is probably like, I know Ty doesn't want to talk about it, but the Glazers out protest, Ollie out protest on Saturday. Biz, are you going?
Oh, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that, bro.
To be fair, you've just done a 250-mile round trip to watch that 2-0 battering.
I can't lie here. You see the problem with that protest for me here, and I think Stretford Paddock came out and said something about it where it's like, you see, and I can't lie, as much as people wanted to give them stick, I feel like they were kind of right with what they said, innit? The protest isn't necessarily to do with their Glazers, it's to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked, innit?
Yeah.
And I feel like, I think even like, if you actually looked at the poster, like kind of projected, it said #Ole out on it. And for me, I just think you're on the wrong track completely if you're doing that. Because if you're doing an Ole out protest, there's still some people in the fan base that are still Ole in kind of thing, innit? So that portion of the fan base you've lost completely in my eyes.
It's not even that. Because see, there's people I ain't seen for years, innit? I saw at Old Trafford there and walked out at 35, 40 minutes. They still love Ole, innit? They're like, bro, I still love him, but I want him out. So them man there are not going to the protest.
I'm not going either, by the way, for the person.
Yeah. Them man there are not going to that protest, bro, because it's just complete respect for Ole. But against the Glazers, yeah, that's one thing. But against Ole, it's just pointless, man. You're not going to get anything out of it. But against the Glazers, this protest should have been something that should have been kept on happening over the period of the summer.
Because I can't lie, like I said,
it shouldn't have stopped.
Well, you signed Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, everyone went quiet. This is the problem, which is why I can never, like, obviously I want the Glazers out, but I'm like, you're fighting a losing battle, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, the fan base only react to something when they're angry. You're not Glazers out when you signed Cristiano Ronaldo. You were celebrating.
100,000,000%.
What's the point?
If Bane froze.
Yeah. Wait, did you hear the last thing I said?
Nah. Go on.
Now, basically said, like, once you signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafa Varane, Sancho, you weren't Glazers out at that point.
Thank you, man. This is
like,
it.
Why are you using your energy for Glazers out now when you're unhappy? You should have this consistently.
Because they're unhappy with it. And this is, I agree with you. The thing is about the protest, respect to everyone that went to it, by the way, like the one that was in the lockdown or wherever it was previously, not long ago. But the thing is, for me, you done the protest, right? And then you stop a Liverpool-Manchester United game, by the way, the biggest game in English football. Now, to do that is huge. Like that's worldwide news, isn't it? That's a massive game that people are excited to watch in Singapore, in France, in America, wherever you are. You break into the stadium, and for me, I said it to you, Statman, before. Where's the levels from there? Like, what more can you do other than protest peacefully and then break into Old Trafford and start dashing stuff at everywhere in the stadium and so forth, or ruining the ground? Like that's when it's getting a bit personal, a bit more than a protest. Now, for me, I was like, right, the only way they can actually carry on making a difference is by remaining consistent, because I never envisaged them breaking in the stadium and a Manchester United-Liverpool game getting called off. I think when we look back at it now, that is very big. Like, we just kind of took it in our stride, but a game got called off because people broke in the stadium. They then allow it and they stop, and we don't hear much else. But then the players, the fans are like, oh, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, we need a defender, and so forth. You get Varane, you get Sancho, and you get...
No, wait. I know the poster had both Glazers out and Ole's out, but I just think that #Ole out shouldn't be associated with it.
Shouldn't be on there. They're two separate things.
Yeah.
Two separate things.
I feel like the main target, if you was just Glazers out, then it's a different story. But I don't think, and I'm Ole out, but I don't think Ole out should be associated with
it. Like, it doesn't matter who's in charge. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I feel like Statman, you hit the nail on the head. With the signings that came in, people then started talking about winning the league and like we've actually spent good money in the market. We've got 3 good players. But what I'm going to actually put out there is, if Ollie was top of the league right now, you think that this protest is happening?
This is my problem. This is my problem with the fan base. You're only reacting because you're unhappy.
They're just reacting because they're unhappy with results. And do you know what I like about Biz as well? Because Biz has been a fan for longer than us, and he's been to protests and so forth. But you go for the right cause. Biz probably knows himself. You probably know more people in that community, Biz. They're doing it because the results are bad. You know, if we're top of the table right now, it's just banter and they're trying to cook other teams on the timeline. Surely.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't lie. Yeah, you see with these protests, I feel like they will have the biggest effect if we were winning. Because then the Glazers can kind of see, wait, what? We signed players, we're top of the league, and people are still unhappy at us.
I think the only time that's happened was in 2010.
Yeah.
When we were actually in the title race, we were top of the league, we were in the Champions League quarterfinals against Bayern Munich, and protests were happening. Don't forget when Beckham wore the scarf.
Yeah.
I think those were the times when that was peak for the Glazers. Like, we're winning. We're not really buying players, but you know, we're up there, we're competing, but you lot are still protesting against us. So I feel like them times there, but then it died down once Fergie come out and said there's no value in the market. Obviously, he was sticking up for them and keeping his job. But I feel like now...
So Ollie does as well, to be fair.
Yeah, sticking up for them.
Because remember when Ollie said like the loudest fans are not always the best ones or something last year?
Yeah.
And look at that, Biscuit said 2010. That's 11 years ago now. If you really, 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 really want someone out, then you'd be going consistently for those 11 years. It's been up and down.
But the thing is, though, with our fan base, it's not united.
Listen, you saw United's 2 biggest content creators fighting yesterday when there's a Glazers out protest on Saturday.
Yeah.
You could literally put your differences aside, unite, get both your audiences to go. Simple.
That's it. But the thing is, see with our fan base, obviously, like it's not unified, isn't it? Not compared to like Liverpool. Do you remember when they put their tickets up to £78? You know what Liverpool fans did? All right, cool. We're leaving in the 78th minute. And it wasn't just 1 or 2. It was a fair few that left, bro. It was enough for them to cause a result. I think that was one of Klopp's first games, if I'm not lying. And they went 2-0 up and they drew 2-2. No, sorry, it wasn't Klopp. Sorry, I think it was Brendan. Brendan Rodgers was in at the time, and they drew the game 2-2, and they decided actually, we're gonna cap the prices at what it is now, and we ain't gonna put it up to £78. Like that's what needs to be happening, a proper boycott. But our fan base is just too much individuality, man. There's no unified one.
And I can't lie, I feel like kind of with the glazed out thing, they kind of know. You see, if they ride at the storm, if they're international break, they're fine.
Yeah.
Because when there's games week in, week out, every 3-4 days during the December period, no one's going to be protesting.
No.
It's cold as well, out there.
I'm excited and intrigued, because I think what's going to happen is, and I know we're going to wrap up in a sec, but we'll talk about it in the coming weeks. We're going to beat Watford. We're going to get maybe a draw or maybe lose to Chelsea, right? Forget that game. Where they're going to beat Arsenal. And then after that, our run till like the end of January is winnable. Like we could win all them.
Forget that.
And they're going to win them. And then they're going to be like, oh, no.
We beat Watford, no one's glazes out. This is as simple as that. This is why I just think all this glazes out stuff here is mostly a social media trend. People are just hopping on it right now. They think change is going to happen. But people are going to this protest. What is the aim of this protest? What are you trying? What are the questions that you want?
You have got some hardcore, like Nuruddin and that, like these hardcore glazers out.
But I'm just saying, as a general, innit?
Fully respectful.
Yeah, but you see, like someone like Nuruddin, he's been glazes out every single, like he preaches it every single day, kind of thing.
Every day.
I respect that. But you see, with the glazed out stuff that we're seeing right now, is a social media trend in my eyes.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of like.
That's why I'm intrigued. That's why I'm intrigued the most, just to see how it is after this week. I want to see that it happens the week after. I want to see it happens the next home game against Arsenal on the midweek night. Like, if you're really serious about it, it's the same as us making content. Let's be real. The only way you're going to grow, people that see us in the comment, they watch our show every week. Why? consistency. They know Biz
Yeah.
and Ty are on Statman's channel every week. They know every Wednesday, barring if something happens, Statman's on our channel every Wednesday. People get used to locking in to shows. People get used to consistency. Now, if Glazers want to make a change or the actual board say, do you know what, raw, this is happening every week, then cool. It's not Halloween. It's not trick or treat where man knocks my door once a year and then you bop off again till next year. You get what I'm saying? So it needs to be consistent.
Yeah,
I'll put it out there. We're not going to get that.
Yeah, we're going to have 10,000 people at most, and that's me being very, very generous, turn up on Saturday. What? And then the next week after, we're going to have 75,000 people at Old Trafford singing Ollie's at the wheel and stuff.
Spending money again.
Yeah.
Shirts. I think the only time it was unified was probably in the summer, though, when those protests were happening and people were going.
Yeah, but even then,
protests
happen. You sign Ronaldo, everyone's silent.
Yeah. Because I think like even Adidas had a statement out saying that they're looking to like cut the United deal short because they're saying they weren't happy with sales of the shirts, like they weren't selling like how they normally were selling.
That's different, isn't it? Because then it affects the money. If it's affecting the money and people are not turning up to games and say Old Trafford's empty, for example, that's a stand. But the thing is, say for example, Saeed gives away his ticket. He's a match going fan. Someone else is going to take it.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't matter if Saeed gives away his ticket.
It's just a never-ending battle.
Yeah, like,
do you know what it is though?
You see this here. I feel like a lot of people just go to these protests, they take a picture saying they were there, post it on Twitter, post it on Insta, act like you're doing something, but in reality, you don't really care.
Wrong. And I think you can see through it. Like you said, Nuruddin Saeed, you know these men have been riding for time since I knew them. And you're going to get people that turn up just for that. Yeah, likes, things, and you actually say, what's your purpose? They couldn't give you an answer. And that's why I don't bullshit and say, oh, I'm going because of this or that. Because at the end of the day, Manchester United have spent money. I care about obviously getting their Glazers out, but I'm not here screaming Glazer. I'm not really into the football politics so much. And I'm honest.
I'll be honest here. I mean, Christmas, I'm getting another United kit. I don't really care, to be honest.
I love business laugh as well.
No, but it's true though. Like the Glazers are still going to be here. The protests would have stopped by then.
Do you know what I see it turning into? A Newcastle United situation where he's just going to be here, and when the right offer comes in, they will sell. They're not in a rush.
Look at West Ham, bro. GSB. How many times were they doing GSB, bro? Remember when the fans stuck the flag at the halfway line, Mark Noble, and then they all tried to like jump.
Guess what? They're winning right now.
They're winning, bro, and they're all back in the stadium. They're all spending money again.
See, that's all it takes.
As long as your team's winning. But that's the best way. But the thing is,
it's all on results. It's all on results.
Yeah, it's right, bro. It's right. If we're top of the league, Glazers make money. They know that.
If we're top of the league, people are tweeting who's got spares.
That's true.
This is why I'm like, I'll be honest with the Glazers that stuff. I can't be asked with it. Ty can't be asked with it. Biz can't be asked with it. Innit? Like, there's no point. The fan base is divided. I've said it. Like, you got people like Mark Goldbridge, Stephen Howson fighting one another yesterday on Twitter.
Yeah, see, I'm not here to do that.
No, but it's true though. Like, those are two big people.
Yeah. When combine their followers together, they said, right, we're really serious about this. And you got to think, that I'm not trying to say people in the comments are misled or anything like that, but they're supporters of our shows. Big up to them because you lot make the shows in the comments. But if we also educate as well as them, they're also educated on football. That's why they watch it. But if we had a platform and we were bringing all these people together, Statman has 5K subscribers. If you're running a cause for so long, people would gather knowledge. They tell their friends and they believe in it. They come through together. These guys are channels with 1 million or 800K. Imagine that. Bringing a lot of them together. Okay, I get it. Some of them are abroad. But if you could bring even 10% of that together, that's a protest of 100,000 at least. That's proper.
You know something, obviously, like, we're all Glazers out, but obviously we're not going to go the full 100 mile to keep doing this protest week in, week out. But you know what, we are noticing our club is falling apart bit by bit, season by season.
But
I think it's going to get to a point where we're just going to have to lower our expectations, man.
But I feel like the people, I just feel like the fans don't care enough about it, kind of thing, innit? Like, you like, I'm not hating on Ollie here, but You lost 5-0 to Liverpool, your biggest rivals, and you're singing Ollie's
And
at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, you should be going home. Head
Ooh.
down.
Well, last question, first down. I know we're going to wrap it up. If, for you and Biz, yeah, if we had sacked Ollie 2 weeks ago after Liverpool,
there's no
and brought in
protest.
Conte, do you
There's
man
no
think
protest.
a protest was happening? Do you think there'll be a protest?
No.
It's mad, innit? Exactly. All on results and shit like that. Simple.
Like this is when I say the message is like lost in this protest. Like I think, like someone literally said, you don't need to protest on Saturday, kind of thing, innit? Because they think Ollie would have got sacked by then. The protest is basically about Ollie. Then it's not about the Glazers. If you're saying that don't go to the protest, Ollie and Solskjaer probably would have got sacked by then. The message is just done out here anyway. The message is lost.
Yeah.
But hey, another 1 hour 15-minute show.
Man, that was sick.
Anything you guys want to shout out?
Talk about as always as well.
Anything you guys want to shout out?
Yeah, I'll quickly, while my connection's messing up, I'll quickly go before Biz quickly. So, Trafford Tunnel people, the @ is below right now in the description. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. If you haven't already. Say again?
Put in the title.
Perfect. It's in the title. There you go. Just click on that. Please subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. And tomorrow, Statman is on our channel. We're going to be doing a Premier League draft team of the season so far. Statman looking at his spreadsheet already, but
I'm looking at the comments.
Trying to change the rules and that.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be two players per team maximum. So make sure 6 o'clock tomorrow, Premier League team of the season draft. Biz, Baines, myself, and Haj, Trafford Tunnel. So yeah, Biz, you can plug your thing as well, man.
Go on, Biz.
Yo, yeah, everything Ty just said, brother, man. Hit the notification bell, you know what, go on. Oh yeah, and before that, under 23s, man. Go check them out, bruv. Ahmad was on smoke. Hopefully we get to see him in the first team ASAP.
100%. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
I'm back tomorrow on Twitch with Liaz as well. And then on Thursday, I got a video about Zidane coming out as well with a Real Madrid fan around 6 that day.
Love
so
that.
Anyway, listen, we'll be back soon. But big up everyone for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We are done.